Speaking of services, here's one we all can't live without. One of the sludge boats. Headed off. It looks pretty full. I don't know where he would be going. Brooklyn, Queens. We're under the Triborough Bridge. You may note here, somebody bought a lot of what, if they break this up even smaller, they call it like trap rock. This is diabase. This is like from the Palisades Cliffs. Somebody bought this to throw it along the bulkhead here, which we haven't done. We need to do that. We need to do a bulkhead rock diary. So, into the light. We're on Ward's Island, Randall's Island. And I once was going to show you this in another video slideshow, but these are the great pillars that support a rail bridge that takes freight and passenger service out of the city via Queens and then the Bronx and then to the north. And these are grand pillars of cast concrete as far as I can tell. And you can often tell cast concrete. In this case, you know, they didn't want to spend a lot of money, so they threw a lot of large clasts into this. That's what I would argue, unless it's some kind of like unusual conglomerate, but I don't think so. And let me just tell you, the sewage treatment plant is very odoriferous today. It's possible, you know, this is a quarried rock, but I just don't think so. You can see the clasts. If it were a quarried rock, it would be a breccia. Maybe we can go find out. It does have some kind of sorting to it in a way. They're layers. But I would just think that that was because it wasn't mixed well. And they've painted the bottom. It's easier to see in terms of its sorting. As we go up. And with that, we'll just do another archways to paradise. Like some wild roses, and then we pan up and we see how this rail bridge suddenly needs this big steel structural support, and then panning over we see what that says is the sludge handling facility. And it's hard to get a really good overview of all of this. Maybe we can add a little aerial shot on our way out. Back to the bridges of paradise. This is a little creek that runs between the Bronx and Ward's Island, and here we have snowy egret. That's the little ones. Great egret. And what they're doing is feeding as the tide, I'd say, is coming in. So as the tide pushes fish up this creek, these guys have decided to take advantage. And, oh, here's one taking off. Let's see if we can catch him into the sun. It's gonna be hard to see. But they will be here as long as they feel they can catch some fish. These little ones are the snowy egrets. And this big guy is your great egret, also known as an American egret. And then we have, well, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, looks like 5, 6 snowies and 1 great. Very impressive. Really beautiful. And again, the water, the tide coming in, so that pushes the fish up, and they're willing to try and do a little feeding. I once did a study of a salt marsh that I was working on, and I would sit in a truck for hours counting the number of times that an egret like this had struck Oh, something scared them away. And successfully fed. So these guys have decided to hit the road. And they are by the rail bridge. Away they go. They may be going to the Meadowlands. I don't know what signaled their departure, but something made them decide that it was time to go. Well, that's a long shot, and we'll end it there. Fishing in the Bronx. Just as the last word, check out the blocks that have been placed along the shoreline. And you see this in so many places in our region. This is like the way in which we've bulkheaded against flooding and erosion. And as sea level will be rising, people are going to make decisions about how they want to protect our shores. And here it's been with vastly big blocks of a mixture of gneiss and schist, shiny ones in the sun, maybe a big chunk of granite, this rectangular one, piled here from somewhere to protect the shoreline. And one last look at the egrets fishing, and we'll say goodbye. I got to get back to a Zoom.